Men, regaining a woman's interest after it has waned is one of the most delicate challenges in modern dating. Many men panic when they sense disinterest and respond by overtexting, begging for attention, or making desperate gestures to win her back. Female psychology is clear. These behaviors almost always backfire. A woman loses attraction when she senses neediness or emotional dependence, and trying to force her interest often cements the distance instead of closing it. The key to regaining her interest lies in Stoic principles: self-control, emotional mastery, and disciplined action. Stoicism teaches that your happiness and value are not dependent on another person's attention or affection. By embodying these qualities, you not only maintain your dignity, but you also create an environment where she naturally notices your value again. This is the foundation for reigniting attraction without resorting to begging or emotional manipulation. This guide will break down 3 actionable steps that allow you to regain her interest while maintaining self-respect. These steps are rooted in psychological principles and Stoic philosophy. They focus on creating intrigue, demonstrating high value, and subtly prompting her emotional investment. The approach is not about trickery. It is about self-improvement, emotional clarity, and strategic behavior that naturally draws her attention back to you. Many men fail at this because they mistake persistence for value. The truth is, attraction thrives on emotional contrast, confidence, and independence. Women are drawn to men who are composed, selective with their attention, and capable of maintaining high standards. By following these 3 steps, you position yourself as a man who is in control of his emotions, actions, and value, qualities that are irresistibly attractive. Regaining a woman's interest is not about chasing her approval. It is about creating a dynamic where she naturally becomes curious, invested, and attracted to you again. Each step builds on the principles of Stoicism: acting with purpose, maintaining emotional resilience, and fostering mutual respect. 1. Rebuild your value through self-improvement. Men, the first step to regaining a woman's interest without begging is to focus on yourself, your growth, your goals, and your life outside of her. Female psychology shows that attraction is strongly tied to perceived value. When a woman senses that a man is stagnant, emotionally dependent, or preoccupied solely with her, her interest naturally wanes. Stoicism teaches that your worth is internal and self-determined, not dependent on her approval. By redirecting your energy to self-improvement, you not only regain your confidence, but also make yourself naturally magnetic again. Self-improvement is multifaceted. It includes physical, emotional, social, and intellectual growth. Physically, investing in your fitness, grooming, and overall health signals discipline, vitality, and energy, all traits that women find attractive. Emotionally, practicing Stoic principles like self-control, patience, and emotional resilience demonstrate stability and composure. A man who can navigate life without overreacting to rejection or distance immediately increases his perceived value. Socially, engaging with friends, pursuing hobbies, or networking creates a sense of abundance, showing that your life is full and independent. Intellectually, developing skills, learning new things, and cultivating confidence in conversation adds depth, making interactions stimulating and memorable. Behaviorally, self-improvement manifests in subtle but powerful ways. You carry yourself with composure, speak with authority, and handle interactions with calm assurance. You no longer overtext or respond immediately to every message, signaling that your attention is valuable. You cultivate interests and goals that make your life rich and full, naturally creating scarcity in a way that piques curiosity and desire. She notices these changes consciously and subconsciously, which sparks renewed attraction. It's crucial to understand that self-improvement is not a superficial performance. It is a genuine enhancement of your life. Women are highly attuned to authenticity. They can sense desperation or forced behavior. By focusing on real growth, you rebuild your confidence, reset her perception of your value, and create a magnetic pull without chasing or begging. Stoic philosophy reinforces this. Your actions and self-discipline, not her approval, define your worth. Psychologically, this step works because women are naturally drawn to men who have abundance, emotionally, socially, and mentally. When she sees that you have a life that is independent and fulfilling, she experiences curiosity, respect, and a subtle sense of loss for the connection she may have taken for granted. By improving yourself first, you shift the dynamic. Instead of chasing her attention, she begins to seek yours. In short, step 1 is about focusing on self-improvement to increase perceived value. By developing yourself physically, emotionally, socially, and intellectually, you cultivate confidence and independence. These traits not only make you more attractive, but also create psychological tension and curiosity, laying the foundation for her to regain interest without you having to beg, plead, or compromise your dignity. 2. Create emotional contrast and scarcity. Men, the second step to regaining a woman's interest without begging is to strategically create emotional contrast and subtle scarcity. Female psychology shows that women are most drawn to men who are not entirely predictable, overly available, or emotionally dependent. When a man fluctuates between warmth, confidence, and independence while maintaining his own life, it triggers curiosity, engagement, and emotional investment. Stoicism teaches that your emotional state should not be dictated by her attention. Your composure and self-control are what generate attraction. Many men make the mistake of responding instantly to messages, accommodating every request, or over-communicating in an attempt to regain interest. This behavior signals neediness and low value, which actually pushes women further away. Emotional contrast is about balancing connection with independence. You might show warmth and genuine interest when you interact, but also demonstrate that your time, energy, and attention are limited. For example, you could engage fully when talking or texting, but avoid over-availability or excessive follow-ups. This subtle scarcity communicates that you are in demand, confident, and capable of living a fulfilling life independently of her attention. Behaviorally, emotional contrast can manifest in several ways. One day, you might reach out with a playful or intriguing message. The next, you focus on personal goals or social activities, giving her space to think about you. You respond with enthusiasm at times, but not predictably, making your presence feel rewarding rather than expected. Scarcity is equally important. You don't cancel your life to accommodate hers, and you maintain boundaries around your time and attention. Women notice these patterns subconsciously. The push-pull effect creates tension, which increases curiosity and engagement, prompting her to mentally invest in the connection. Importantly, this is not about playing games. It is about demonstrating self-respect and emotional control. When a woman senses that you are composed, independent, and selective with your attention, she is more likely to reassess her interest. The contrast between her previous perception of you as available or overly eager and your new balanced approach creates intrigue. She begins to notice your high value, remember past interactions fondly, and wonder what you are doing in your absence. Classic triggers for emotional reinvestment. Psychologically, emotional contrast and scarcity engage two key principles of attraction. First, women value men who create tension, challenge, and unpredictability, which triggers dopamine and emotional engagement. Second, scarcity increases perceived value by signaling that your attention is not guaranteed. Combined, these principles reignite curiosity and desire without requiring you to plead for her attention. In short, step 2 is about using emotional contrast and scarcity to reset the attraction dynamic. By balancing warmth, independence, and selective engagement, you create intrigue, stimulate her emotional investment, and reignite her interest naturally. This approach ensures you maintain self-respect while subtly prompting her to think about you, notice your value, and invest emotionally in reconnecting. 3. Encourage her investment. While remaining detached men, the third and final step to regaining a woman's interest without begging is to encourage her emotional investment while maintaining detachment. Female psychology shows that the more a woman invests her attention, time, and energy into a connection, the more attached and interested she becomes. The key is to allow her to contribute to the dynamic without overcompensating or attempting to force her investment. Stoicism teaches that your emotional state should remain independent of her actions. Your goal is to guide the interaction subtly while remaining composed and self-respecting. Many men fail at this step because they attempt to manufacture interest by overgiving, over-explaining, or pleading for attention. These behaviors create imbalance, signaling neediness and low value. Instead, high-value men create a framework where the woman naturally invests because she wants to, not because she is coerced. This can be achieved by shifting the dynamic from one-sided effort to mutual participation. Women are more attracted to men who allow them to contribute, demonstrate initiative, and feel like they are part of something engaging and rewarding. Behaviorally, this principle can take several forms. You might ask for her opinion on decisions, invite her to participate in activities you enjoy, or playfully challenge her to engage emotionally or intellectually. When she takes initiative, suggesting plans, sharing personal stories, or showing curiosity about your life, she begins to feel ownership of the connection. Your role is to acknowledge and appreciate her investment subtly, without overreacting or overexpressing dependence. For example, you can respond with enthusiasm when appropriate, but maintain composure when she is slow to engage, signaling that your attention is valuable and not guaranteed. Encouraging her investment also involves restraint. You do not chase her approval, correct her behavior, or try to prove your worth. Instead, you create opportunities for her to participate while remaining emotionally detached from the outcome. This balance between engagement and detachment reinforces your high value and stimulates desire. Women instinctively notice men who are composed, independent, and selective with their attention, which makes them more willing to invest their energy in maintaining the connection. Psychologically, this step works because of the principle of commitment and consistency. When a woman invests in a relationship, emotionally, socially, or mentally, she begins to justify that effort internally, increasing her attachment and desire. By providing space for her investment without displaying neediness or desperation, you create a natural pull where she actively seeks your attention, engagement, and approval. Combined with the first two steps, self-improvement and emotional contrast, this completes the dynamic needed to reignite her interest without begging. In short, step 3 is about creating a space where a woman naturally invests emotionally while you maintain independence and composure. By encouraging her participation, allowing her to contribute to the connection, and remaining detached from the outcome, you foster renewed attraction and attachment. This principle ensures that interest is regained organically, maintaining your dignity, high value, and stoic approach to relationships, while subtly guiding her to reinvest in you emotionally. Men, regaining a woman's interest without begging is entirely possible when you approach the situation with stoic principles, self-respect, and psychological insight. The 3 steps we've discussed, rebuilding your value through self-improvement, creating emotional contrast and subtle scarcity, and encouraging her investment while remaining detached, work together to reset attraction and spark genuine curiosity and desire. Female psychology shows that women are naturally drawn to men who are confident, independent, and emotionally composed. Many men fail because they react impulsively to disinterest, chasing attention, overtexting, or pleading for affection. These behaviors diminish perceived value and make the man appear needy. Stoicism teaches that your emotional state and self-worth are not dictated by her interest or approval. By focusing on personal growth, maintaining boundaries, and allowing her to invest, you regain leverage in the connection without compromising dignity. Step 1. Self-improvement ensures that your life is rich, fulfilling, and magnetic. Step 2. Emotional contrast and scarcity creates intrigue, stimulates curiosity, and reignites attention. Step 3. Encouraging her investment while remaining detached fosters attachment, emotional engagement, and long-term interest. Applied consistently, these steps shift the dynamic in your favor, allowing attraction to grow naturally rather than being forced. In short, regaining a woman's interest is not about begging, pleading, or manipulating. It is about becoming a high-value man who commands attention, sets boundaries, and allows the connection to rebuild organically. By mastering these 3 steps, you maintain your confidence, preserve your dignity, and create the conditions for her to think about you, invest emotionally, and regain attraction on her own. This stoic approach ensures that you remain in control of your emotions, actions, and life while subtly guiding the relationship dynamic back toward mutual interest and engagement. High-value men do not chase, they attract.